He's too light for one. You know, the ginger hair, and then like the way his head is shaped. And what I'm showing, the way my head is built with like a roller coaster. You know, it has a lump in the middle. You know, most of my kids, they have that. All of them. As you can see, mine is the same way. As for little Daryl, his head is more flat and his hair is ginger, like a reddish hair. I've never had that in my family.
This grieving couple's marriage is crumbling. Mr. Wells denies their 2 living children because of rumors and his own wild theories, while they should be mourning their deceased son.
Mrs. McDaniel, you opened your case today in hope of salvaging your marriage with the defendant. You claim you two have suffered a great loss and should be grieving, but instead, due to rumors, your husband is denying your 2-year-old daughter, Ava Wells, and 18-month-old son, Daryl Wells.
Their meet cute is one for the history books. He actually sent his 5-year-old nephew over as a tiny wingman to get Ms. McDaniel's phone number for him.
We met, he was with his sister, and it was at a convention center, and he tried to get his 5-year-old to give me his number, and I was like, no, you asked.
A 5-year-old?
He called me friend.
It was my nephew. I seen that she spoke with my sister and them, so my nephew knew her, so I asked my nephew to go.
Your nephew was 5?
Yeah, at the time, he was 5.
So he would call me, hey, friend, and I'd be like, hey, friend, you know.
I sent my nephew over to ask for her phone number.
His doubt was originally sparked by his meddling ex-girlfriend, who called him out of the blue to warn him his new wife was a thought and the baby wasn't his.
You've heard rumors that your wife is with someone else.
That my kids belong to somebody else.
And who told you that?
My ex. She was like that Megan is the thought of the place where they work at.
But this is your wife she's talking about.
Yes, yes.
So she just decides she's gonna call you out the blue and tell you your wife is a thought.
His suspicion exploded after seeing her at a club where another man stuck his whole hand up her dress and he was smacking her butt.
But he might be thinking of this time we went to a club. This is another reason he probably, don't think it's his kids, because I was in a club with my friend and I was dancing on my friend. The guy spanked me.
And so, Mr. Wells, you saw this happen?
Yes. But the guy, as he starts dancing and twerking, he stuck his whole hand up her dress and he was smacking her butt.
In a moment of pure cruelty, he admits he has told their 2-year-old daughter, Ava, "I ain't your daddy," and then tried to lamely claim it was just a joke.
He has told my daughter, I'm not your daddy, go find your daddy.
What?
I did not say that.
Mr. Wells, what did you say?
I probably told him, like, I ain't your daddy. Like, meaning today. Just a joke, though. I just playing with him.
No, that's not a joke. Because if you were playing, you wouldn't be in this courtroom.
The mystery deepens. The birth certificate for their son, Daryl, is suspiciously missing Mr. Wells' name, even though they were married when he was born.
Clearly see, I'm labeled as Ava's father. I'm not on the birth certificate for him.
But you two were married at the time.
Yes, and he was there for the delivery. He was the only one in the delivery room.
Why leave his name off of this birth certificate?
I don't know, Your Honor. I mean, I can't sign it. Obviously, he didn't. That's the proof.
So, Mr. Wells, you feel like there's some part of this that was intentional on your wife's part?
Yes.
He even shamefully calls his 18-month-old son his little white boy because the baby has ginger hair and is too light.
And then it's his skin tone. He got ginger hair and he's too light.
Well, I mean,
now,
his mother is white now.
I mean, but
Your Honor, he calls him white boy. That's not
no.
acceptable.
He calls him what?
White boy, and that's not acceptable.
I call him my little white boy.
The most bizarre proof ever. He presents a courtroom exhibit claiming he has a roller coaster head. All his other 5 kids have it, but Daryl's head is suspiciously flat.
He's too light for one. The ginger hair, and then like the way his head is shaped. And what I'm showing, the way my head is built with like a roller coaster. It has a lump in the middle. Most of my kids, they have it. All of them. As you can see, mine is the same way. As for little Daryl, his head is more flat and his hair is ginger, like a reddish hair. I've never had that in my family.
Despite his unhinged theories and hurtful jokes, he tearfully admits he loves these kids deeply and wishes nothing more than for them to be biologically his.
Mr. Wells, I can see that this makes you very emotional.
Yes, it does.
What are you feeling in this moment?
It's unexplainable. I feel lost, especially without that little boy. I wish that these kids be mine. I want nothing more than that. Even though I do say my little joke names to them, believe me, I love them.
Well, I'm hard on you because children are precious beings.
The courtroom waits for the final verdict. Will this man's wacky genetic theories be proven right, or is he about to get the shock of his life twice?
It has been determined by this court. Wells, you are the father.
When I had gotten pregnant, we were separated. He was with another lady. So every time he comes over, he don't know how to keep his hands to himself. Even if I'm in a relationship, he still does it. As soon as my friend turns his back, he touching on. And I tell him, don't do that. But while I'm separated, I do love him with all my heart. Everything in me loves him.
Mr. McCarroll came over and touched you, and then you got pregnant.
Ms. Bryson is here to prove Mr. McCarroll is her son, Zylan's dad. But he's 100% sure he's not and wants his last name taken off the baby ASAP.
Ms. Bryson, you have dragged the defendant, your ex-boyfriend, Mr. McCarroll, into court today because although you admit to having sex with more than one man, you are here with that Mr. McCarroll is the father of your 18-month-old son, Zylan McCarroll.
She claims their entire relationship failed because he has whorish ways and is always cheating. He just claims he was trying to avoid this exact paternity drama.
We're not working on getting anything back in track because Mr. McCarroll, he has whorish ways. He wants me to be a whore like he is, and I'm not that type of person.
Mr. McCarroll, you want her to be a whore like you are?
No, Your Honor. I have no idea where Ms. Bryson gets that from.
Are you just trying to say he cheats on you a lot?
Yes, every time we're together, he cheats. I wanted us to get married.
Her proof he's a cheater? Anytime he doesn't immediately answer his phone, there is the woman involved, and she even swears his best friend helps him cheat.
I called him, he didn't answer, and I know him. Anytime he don't answer the phone, it's a woman involved.
I
And sure enough, it was. His best friend still to this day, they cheat together. They do everything together, okay?
His bizarre defense for being shady? She got mad at him for being too quiet while he was downstairs trying to read a Rick James autobiography.
I was reading, I believe it was Rick James autobiography some years ago. As you can imagine, that is a very interesting book. She upstairs with the baby. I'm downstairs because I'm trying to read. The baby crying and whatnot.
I finished the story.
I'm reading the book. She come downstairs huffing and puffing. I've been downstairs too long. I'm too quiet.
The messy conception story. They were separated, and she was with a new man. But McCarroll came over to get his hair braided and was touching on me, leading to a hookup.
When I had gotten pregnant, we were separated. He was with another lady. So every time he comes over, he don't know how to keep his hands to himself. Even if I'm in a relationship, he still does. But while I'm separated, I do love him. I want all my kids to be here.
So you were with another man?
Yes, I was.
In a relationship,
No,
and then Mr. McCarroll came over and touched you, and then you got pregnant.
Surprise! The other potential father, Mr. Perkins, takes the stand. Is he the one who got Ms. Bryson pregnant during her break from Mr. McCarroll?
All of this doubt centers around this other man you were with.
Yes.
He's here, and I want to hear. Jerome, will you please escort him in the courtroom?
But Mr. Perkins says he doesn't believe he's the father because Ms. Bryson told him she was 99% sure that McCarroll was the dad.
Do you believe you are Zylan's biological father?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Why?
Because at the same time she was with me, she was messing around with him. And lost my train of thought just thinking about the stuff.
It makes you upset.
Yeah, because I found out that she was messing around on me. So she told me she was 99% sure that he was the father. And
the timeline is an absolute disaster. She admits she slept with Mr. Perkins. Then just 2 days later, she hooked up with Mr. McCarroll.
Well, we slept together also on April the 26th. That's the day that I split up with him. I split up with him. It don't make it right. I know that.
You split up with Mr. Perkins, and then 2 days later, you slept with Mr. McCarroll.
Judge Lake has the results for two potential fathers. Is it the Rick James reading Mr. McCarroll or his ex's other lover, Mr. Perkins?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Perkins, you are not the father.
They do good at
but
tax
let you
time.
tell that you paid our rent for 5 and 6 months.
So that's when I was staying with you when you were
but
on Tucker CG. And as soon as I moved out, y'all got me because you couldn't
because you
continue to
gave
pay
me a
the rent.
bounce check.
No, I gave it. I didn't give you a bounce check.
We were in a bind.
I canceled $400 of it. Mike had an $800 check, but I had to take 4 of it to move out of your house because I got tired of living in the situation.
This mother-daughter showdown is absolutely explosive. Mom isn't here for a DNA test. She's suing her own daughter for nearly $4,000 in alleged unpaid loans.
Ms. Scott McCrae, you are suing your daughter for $3,900 in unpaid loans.
Yes, Ron.
The daughter's wild defense? Her mom is just a pathetic old lady who can't hang on to her man and is secretly jealous and wants her husband toy.
Yes.
You say that your daughter's husband is a deadbeat and you wish she'd leave this man and get off the system. Miss Scott, you say your mother was an addict when you were younger and now tries to act holier than thou. You believe that your mother is jealous of you and wants your husband.
To prove her insane theory, the daughter has forced her own mother to take a lie detector test to find out if she's secretly trying to steal her man.
Ms. Scott, you petitioned the court for a lie detector test to know once and for all if your mother wants your man.
Yes.
Mom's proof the husband is a total deadbeat. She once witnessed him eat cereal multiple times in one night, and then he drank all the milk.
Why are you calling your daughter's husband a deadbeat?
If I have 5 children dependent on me and they need things in the morning to sustain them while they're at daycare, and this man,
What's the
Toy,
things they need?
I was
they
sleeping
lacking?
in
What
their
was it?
den. I watched Toy one night, particularly. He went into the kitchen 3 or 4 times, and the whole night he was eating cereal.
The daughter claps back that her mom gave them a bounced check for rent, which got their family of 9 evicted. Mom says she had to take the cash to escape their chaos.
They do good at
But
tax
let you
time.
tell it, you paid our rent for 5 and 6 months, Mom.
That's when I was staying with you when you were
But
on
when
Tucker
have you
CG,
ever
and as
paid
soon
our
as I
rent
moved
5 or
out,
6
y'all
months,
got
Mom?
me because you
Yeah,
couldn't
because you
continue to
gave
pay
me a
the rent.
bounce check.
No, I didn't give you a bounce
We
check.
were in a bind.
I canceled $400 of it. Mike had an $800 check, but I had to take 4 of it to move out of your house because I got tired of
But
living
that
in the
was behind our
situation.
back, though.
Daughter then accuses her own mother of sowing her royal oats and having relations on the couch where her 7 grandchildren could have walked right in on her.
Now, at the end of the year, we got in the bind. Oh, she met this man. Now, she's acting like a little high school girl while she was living with us, sleeping with him in the house. Like one morning, we getting the kids ready for daycare. If Toy wouldn't have walked in the living room, the kids would have seen her full moon.
I don't know if I want to know, but
Having sex?
With the children.
Having sex?
You're right.
But Mom has her own dirt. She claims the deadbeat husband was once caught completely naked with another woman and almost lost a thumb in the ensuing chaos.
you really don't like your daughter's husband.
I don't respect him.
To your daughter, has he gotten anything right? Has he been faithful?
If she
No,
doesn't
he is
respect
not.
him, Your Honor,
My
then
daughter
why
has
is she
actually
always
come
touching on
home
him?
from the hospital and caught her husband naked in their house with another woman.
The daughter claims her mom is so obsessed with her husband, she once gave him a slobbery kiss on the cheek. Is Grandma really this thirsty for her son-in-law?
About the,
The
day
last
when
thing
we
that
was in the
Toy helped
home
me
having a couple of drinks, Your Honor. She's about to leave. I walk her out to her car. Now, she got in her car, crank it up. So, of course, something just told me to, just look back out the door. She done got out her car, walked up to our car where Toy was sitting and kissed him on his cheek. A slobbery kiss. If he would have turned his face, they would have been tongue kissing.
The husband, Toy, finally speaks. He confirms his mother-in-law is always touching his chest and pouting, and he thinks she has a little crush and a little mental problem.
She always touching me on my chest.
What chest?
She always patting on me. She always saying, do more than I can. My son or the man I'm sleeping with come and do things.
God.
What came out the blue one day to even come and get me to come and pick up a tent for her.
$30
that
tent.
man she's sleeping with in the same.
Put that tent up.
The courtroom is on edge for the final verdict. Is Grandma a Jekyll and Hyde man-stealer, or will the lie detector prove her daughter's accusations are just trash?
Ms. Scott McCrae, you were asked, have you ever made any sexual advances towards your son-in-law, Toy? You said no.
No.
And the lie detector determined that was the truth.
Yes, it was.
Ms. Scott McCrae. Mr. Patrick, in your court papers, you specify that you also had additional doubts. They're specifically around Larry. What are those doubts?
I think he's ADHD or something. You know what I mean? He doesn't listen. He's rambunctious.
He's a little boy.
And I hope he grows out of it someday. But I believe he's ADHD. Doesn't run in my family.
How do you
doesn't
know
run
that?
In her family.
This poor guy let a stranger rent a room, but the man mysteriously vanished after 5 days, right before his girlfriend, Ms. Pence, also disappeared overnight.
Mr. Patrick, you say 5 years ago you made a huge mistake by opening your doors to a stranger who needed a place to stay because that man betrayed you and slept with your girlfriend, Ms. Pence.
We had wanted to purchase another home. We met the gentleman, helped pay the bills and stuff. 5 or 6 days, and he up and moved out. And I questioned her. I said, wonder why he just up and left. Is it because me and you argue a lot?
She returned the next morning with her hair as a wreck, looking like she went through a hurricane, and then immediately confessed she did sleep with their former roommate.
Well, she doesn't show up until the next day, about 10:30 in the morning.
Really?
And her hair's a wreck. Looked like she went through a hurricane or something.
Ms.
So I
Pence,
started
you got missing overnight?
I did.
Why was you gone all night? You know what I mean? What'd you do? Who was you with?
And what was her response?
She just was talking in circles, basically.
I confessed, Your Honor, at that time.
What did you tell him, Ms. Pence?
I had told him that I had slept with a gentleman that had been staying with us.
Her absolutely wild excuse for cheating? Mr. Patrick kept accusing her of it, so she decided to make his paranoid nightmare a reality.
I kind of went looking for him. Larry had continuously, from day one, accused me of cheating constantly. I had never slept with anyone else before that night. I had constantly, it has nothing to do with that. I never slept with anyone before that, never. You constantly accused me of it, and I kept telling you, you're gonna keep pushing, and it's gonna happen.
But where is this mystery roommate now? Ms. Pence conveniently claims she has no idea where he is and hasn't spoken to him once since their alleged one-night stand.
Do you know where to find him if he is the father?
No, Your Honor, I don't. I've never spoke with the guy after that night.
Never kept in touch with him after that night?
No, Your Honor. I couldn't tell you where he is right now.
The conception window is a complete disaster. She admits she slept with the other man on October 29th, then with her actual boyfriend, Mr. Patrick, just 5 days later.
A 5-day window between what?
From the date that she had slept with the other man.
Let's clear it. Ms. Pence, which day did you sleep with the other man?
October 29th was the date that I had slept.
Oh, yeah, we need to have that circle on the calendar as well.
I slept with the other gentleman on October 29th, 4 days later.
So that is just a 5-day window.
His other bizarre proof that one of the twins isn't his? The little boy is rambunctious, and ADHD doesn't run in my family.
Mr. Patrick, in your court papers, you specify that you also had additional doubt, and they're specifically around Larry. What are those doubts?
I think he's ADHD or something. You know what I mean? He doesn't listen. He's rambunctious.
He's a little boy.
And I hope he grows out of it someday, but I believe he's ADHD or
There's
something.
nothing wrong with
Larry.
And so,
Doesn't run in my family.
How do you
doesn't
know
run
that?
In her family.
A psychiatrist is brought in to school him on genetics, but even after the expert science lesson, Mr. Patrick stubbornly admits it doesn't help the doubt.
But it's a much more complicated picture than that, and that's not the entire story. So sometimes we can point to one gene, sometimes it's multiple, and sometimes it's the way that the genes interact with the environment, and sometimes the genes have nothing to do with it, and it's just something that, or during the delivery, or in that child's early childhood, that can affect how they learn. And sometimes it's just the environment, like with lead poisoning, for example.
Because he suspected more betrayals, Patrick forced her to take a lie detector test. First question, was there another man besides the roommate? She said no. Deceptive.
Ms. Pence, you were asked, did you have sexual intercourse with the man whom you cheated on Mr. Patrick with more than once? You said no. The lie detector determined you were being deceptive.
The courtroom is on pins and needles. Is Mr. Patrick the father of these twins, or will the lie detector prove to be the ultimate, devastating truth teller?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Patrick, you are the father.
I told you. Mother, I told you.
Girl, she messaged me basically saying that, you know, they was talking, he was her boyfriend as well. He didn't know me. I'm just
So you got a message out of the blue from another woman. And it says, he told me you were his ex and that you were pregnant, but you're and didn't know who the dad was.
Yes, ma'am.
This isn't his first reality TV rodeo. Mr. Silva from Love and Hip Hop is now in paternity court because he doubts he's the father of baby legend.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Silva, you were involved in a paternity case on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in support of your sister who took a DNA test to prove paternity of her child. You now stand here in court with your own case because you say there is absolutely no way you are the biological father of the plaintiff's son.
His absolutely unhinged philosophy on relationships. Mr. Silva declares it's okay for men to cheat because God created men to conquer, but women absolutely cannot.
I grew up loving women, loving sex.
You grew up loving sex.
To me, I always felt like it was okay for men to go out, have sex, and, you know, cheat, come home to their family, and women can't go out, have sex, and, you know, come home, and especially with a baby.
Judge Lake was not having it, shutting down his bizarre theory by hilariously asking, "What are we on? Game of Thrones?"
You aren't the only man that feels like that.
Well, Your Honor,
like
God created men to conquer, to overrule, and women cannot empower.
What are we on, Game of Thrones?
You see what I did?
His doubt first ignited when he caught her texting her ex. He snooped on her phone only to find she had changed her password and locked him out.
Your Honor, we were broken up for 4 weeks, Your Honor. I caught her texting her ex. I caught them texting multiple times. She claims they're just friends. One day, I just decided to try to go in her phone, and she changed her password on me. She was in the bathroom when I was trying to get in there, and I typed it in wrong, so I tried 2-3 more times until it locked me out. So when she finally got out the bathroom, I was like, so you're seeing your ex and you changed your password. What you gotta hide?
But she fires back with a jaw-dropping bombshell. Other women text her phone talking about our boyfriend. Is this man living a triple life?
And that's exactly.
But my whole thing is like, why do you keep asking me what I have to hide when every single time I turn around, it's another female texting my phone like, oh, I was just dating I was just dating your boyfriend. Your boyfriend is my boyfriend, our boyfriend. Like, what you mean?
Wait, what?
Boyfriend.
While they were broken up for a month, he saw her on Snapchat, turning up, getting lit with men. So how could he possibly believe the baby is his?
Mr. Silva, how long were you broken up before she told you she was pregnant?
Was broken up for about 3-4 weeks, a month, and I didn't hear from her. So at the time, she gets booked to model and promote events. That's what she loved doing. So on her Snapchat, she's turning up, getting lit with men, drinking, smoking. So how do you expect me to believe that you've been gone for 3-4 weeks?
He claims he felt totally pressured by her whole family to sign the birth certificate right there in the hospital, even with all his doubts swirling.
None but her family was there. I was by myself. I came in. As soon as the legend was born, the doctor came in the room straight to me and gave me the paper. I didn't want to make her look bad. So
you signed the birth certificate?
Yes. I felt pressure to sign this.
And if you start talking about DNA tests and not signing birth certificates, it sheds a negative light on her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then she comes with the ultimate receipts. Another woman messaged her, exposing text where Mr. Silva told this other girl that Reeves was pregnant but didn't know who the dad was.
Girl, she messaged me basically saying that, they was talking, he was her boyfriend as well. He didn't know me. I'm just
So you got a message out of the blue from another woman. And it says, he told me you were his ex and that you were pregnant, but and didn't know who the dad was.
Yes, ma'am.
His pathetic excuse for trashing her to another woman he was seeing? Oh, he was just being grimy because he thought she was playing him.
Did you tell this woman that she was pregnant, but she didn't know who the father of her child was?
Your Honor, I told her that she was pregnant, and I told her that she wasn't pregnant by me, but the whole thing, I just said that out of, just being grimy.
His final heartless ultimatum is laid bare. I want this child to be mine. But if he's not, then she gotta kick rocks. She gotta go.
I want this child to be mine, and I really, hoping that the results saying that I'm his father, because if he's not, then she gotta kick rocks, she gotta go. I can't look at her the same, I can't respect her.
Judge Lake holds the envelope. Will this hypocritical king be proven a father after all? Or is his girlfriend about to kick rocks out of his life for good?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Silva, you are the father.
I was working. I was tired.
No, he wasn't worried about my pregnancy because he was busy getting someone else pregnant.
I was working.
So wait a minute. At the time Miss Kingsbury was pregnant, you had someone else pregnant as well?
Well, yeah, you can say that.
So you wasn't sleeping too much.
Ms. Kingsbury says they plan to have baby Chance together. But now Mr. James, her supposed first love, is completely denying his own son.
Miss Kingsbury, you say you were in a romantic relationship with the defendant, Mr. James, planned to have a child together, but when your 11-month-old son Chance was born, Mr. James turned on you and began to deny paternity.
Well, me and Mr. James, we planned to have our son. Well, planned to have a child together. So that's what hurts me.
His big defense? Undeniable medical evidence. But he also casually admits he was never actually in love with her, just thought she was a very nice woman to have a baby with.
Mr. James, you say you had stopped all intimate relations with Miss Kingsbury during the window of conception. You say you can prove this is not your child with undeniable medical evidence.
The trust was shattered after she told one little lie about getting a ride from a male customer. This single lie then spiraled into wild rumors of her hopping out of cars with other men.
We had an incident about me lying about something. That's when he stopped, I guess, wanting to be serious with me.
You're right.
That's when all the... Oh, I lied about a way that I got to work. I didn't tell him who took me. I lied about... I told him that it was my sister who took me, but it was a customer of mine. I asked him if he can give me a ride to work.
Jaw-dropping bombshell. While Ms. Kingsbury was pregnant with their supposedly planned baby, Mr. James was out getting another woman pregnant at the exact same time.
I was working. I was tired.
No, he wasn't worried about my pregnancy because he was busy getting someone else pregnant.
I was working.
At the time Miss Kingsbury was pregnant, you had someone else pregnant as well?
Well, yeah, you can say that.
So you wasn't sleeping too much.
And how did she find out about the other baby mama? He chased her down the street in his car after a fight and just screamed out the window, "That's why I got someone else pregnant."
But I wasn't talking to her at that time either, though.
Yes, he was.
At the
he
point,
moved on after pregnant.
Yelling out.
I stayed at his house the night before. That morning when we got up, me about diabetes, I'm a diabetic. Traded, and I walked out his house, and I walked to my house. He jumped in his car and proceeded to follow behind me and yelled out the window, "That's why I got someone else pregnant."
Despite all that unbelievable drama and him having another pregnant pregnant lover on the side, Mr. James was still there for Chance's birth and signed the birth certificate.
Were you at the hospital? Did you participate in the birth?
Yes.
You did?
Yes, I was right there when he was born.
He was.
But not her C-section, but when he was there, I was holding him. I seen him pee-pee.
He signed the birth certificate. He signed the birth certificate and everything. He did.
Because I thought
my
that's
son
the right
has
thing
his last
to do.
name.
His undeniable medical evidence is finally revealed. Baby Chance was born with the sickle cell trait, which Mr. James arrogantly insists no one in his family has.
Even though I had my doubts, as a person, I believe in God, whatever like that. I believe as a man,
the doubt
take
is
responsibility. I think when he was like 2 months, the sickle cell trait.
Okay, Chance was born with the sickle cell trait.
Yes.
The sickle cell.
Now, let's talk about some evidence.
When I heard about the sickle cell trait, I did my research with that trait. I had to be a carrier, or somebody on my side had to be a carrier. I don't have it, my mother don't have it.
How do you know you?
But wait, under questioning, Mr. James admits he's never actually been tested for the trait himself. He just assumes he doesn't have it because he's never felt sick.
Don't have it.
Because the doctor never said I had the type of trait, even though.
Have you ever gone in and been tested specifically?
Not specifically. If I don't have it, if my mother don't have it, my dad don't have it. So somebody on her side of the family gotta have it.
I don't have it and my daughter don't have it.
A real medical expert is brought into the courtroom who schools him on basic genetics. Anyone can be a silent carrier. His entire medical evidence theory is on very shaky ground.
The genes for sickle cell disease are very simple. You get a gene for hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the red stuff in the red blood cell, and that's sickle cell disease is a problem with hemoglobin. So you get a gene for hemoglobin on the sperm from the father, and you get a gene for hemoglobin from the egg on the mother, okay? Absolutely, one of them has to have sickle cell trait in order for the baby to have sickle cell trait.
Judge Lake holds the envelope. Is Mr. James the father despite his medical evidence, or is his girlfriend about to be told to kick rocks for good?
It has been determined by this court. To James,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are the father.